Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I hope everyone's doing well. We're going to get started here right on time in just a few seconds. Got a lot to go through and a lot of really good stuff to go through, actually. So let's do that here in just a second. I'm going to give you guys what I think is a beautiful setup, as well as a whole bunch of other really, really important stuff. So you guys can hear me okay, right? It looks like, I'm just quickly check. Yeah, it looks like everything's good. Okay, let's just get started. So again, good morning, everybody. This is Serge Berger here from thesteadytrader.com. This is our Set the Market morning call. We're going to spend the next 15 minutes or so going through some of the top things on my notepad. And with that, I want to welcome all the new people. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's very important for you so that you can be receiving everything, all our updates and live analysis in real time by a pop-up on YouTube. Obviously, subscription on YouTube is free. And if you could also give us a thumbs up like on the video for everyone, every single one of these videos when we go live, that would be super helpful. So thank you so much for being here. All right, let's get started. What are we going to look at? Okay. First of all, I want to talk a little bit about the broader situation, the very still fluid situation that we are seeing geopolitically, which is why we're seeing a lot of movements. Oil yesterday had a big day, did a downside. Then I want to talk about the bond market quickly. I want to talk about Tesla, and I want to talk about the trade here in Constellation Energy. But first of all, let's start off with the S&P 500. And before we even do that, I don't know how many people in here, has anyone ever traded futures, or has anyone here ever traded intraday? I just want to show you guys something for those of you that like to do futures or intraday with options or whatever. I just want to quickly show you what happened yesterday with the S&P 500 E-mini futures contract. So this, I think it came out to $5,150 with just one contract of the E-mini. So we like to use momentum trades intraday. So if any of you like to do intraday stuff, use the trender indicator. You can contact Joel. He's in here too. Just hit him up and he can tell you how to reach him. But you got to get the trender. Make sure you use it. I mean, yesterday, so this is just yesterday, right? Literally just yesterday being Monday. So we had a sell signal. Then it didn't quite reach the free profit target. So we have these trailing stops, which are the red dots. And then we have the green lines, which are sort of, we call the profit target. So it didn't quite reach the profit target, but it got stopped out below, of course, where it entered. So that's 6 points. Then the next entry signal, if you just go to signal made about 30 points. Then the next one, I think, made 32. And the last one made 35. So between the buy signal here and then the profit target. So if you like to trade intraday, I would certainly encourage you to use the trender indicator. It's a fantastic tool. So let's quickly talk about the equity market. If we look at equity market futures, which is what we need to use here this morning, you will notice that the S&P 500 is basically right back at an all-time high here this morning. But we remain in this sort of congestion period. Now, arguably, the more we move to the upper part of this, the more we break through. But I'm just trying to tell people, like, this is not where you load up and go all crazy net long. This is maybe where you try it from a trading perspective and try to trade for a breakout if that's really what you want to do. I get that. I'm not against that. You know, we have positions in that direction and other directions as well. But this is not where you start, you know, reloading your portfolio, going max long, max 7, right? We haven't cleared this, and even if we clear, it doesn't mean we have to stay above there. We can go to 6,200, we can go to 6,300. That doesn't mean it lasts, right? So from a trading perspective, that's a different aspect than from an investing perspective. So that's where we are here, but it's very fluid, and it's quite possible that the bond market is trying to tell us something. That's the second thing I want to tell you. If you are a Trade Ops member, which is our members area, where we do everything live, yesterday I made a big deal about what the bond market is doing, and I don't have an answer for it, at least not yet, but I am curious that yesterday and continuing this morning, we have such a risk-on mode in mood and equities, but the bond market is telling us the opposite. So 10-year bond, 2-year bond yields, treasury notes, they yesterday dropped by from about 390 to about 5 or 6 basis points in yield. That doesn't sound like a lot from beginning to close, but that's not an insignificant move. And this morning we saw a little bit of follow through. So I kind of would like us to see it break below 380 on the downside. But the point is, someone is buying short-dated bonds, right? That's a flight to safety move. Now, we'll see if this ends, today or tomorrow. But yesterday that took place. And that's completely the opposite of what the stock market's telling us. The stock market usually is the dumb money, right? Don't take this personal. I operate in the stock market too. But the bond market tells us a different story. So I don't know who's right here. I really don't, but I find it curious. So I just want to, tell everyone that is taking place. So those are two things. The third thing I want to point out is Tesla. Tesla yesterday, of course, had a big day, up 8.25%. And at this point, we do have to give this the benefit of the doubt, because I know a lot of Tesla Uber fans, Uber Tesla fans, meaning like very big, not Uber the company, but like very, very big Tesla fans. They will buy this stock regardless what happens. And the machines are not that much different. So when you have an update like yesterday, we're talking about potentially new momentum. So I'd like to see the stock, be able to break and hold above, let's say 360. We got really darn close yesterday. And I will tell you that we have a new momentum buy signal in Tesla since yesterday with our TSD trend and momentum indicator. We had a beautiful sell signal back in January. That one ultimately made about 27%. Well, actually made more, but if we just go from sell signal to buy signal, then the buy signal was about flat profits. Then we got stopped out on the sell signal. And then we were in a chop zone. So there's a buy and a sell that happened within a chop zone. So those were not valid trades. But we now have a new buy signal. We've got a first profit target at around, let's call it 365, and then maybe 380. So that is from a momentum perspective. Tesla, I think if Tesla goes below 325, I would stop out. I'm not long the stock, but I'm considering it here. I'm going to see how it acts here this morning. So that's another freebie here for you guys this morning in Tesla. I hope this is helpful. And again, please give us a thumbs up like. So that's another thing. So that's S&P update. That's, what did we say? Yield curve or bond market update. Tesla. And before we go to another one, and this is a really good stock that we'll talk about as well here in a few minutes in our Market Rover Inner Circle session. I just want to talk a little bit about, and I'm just going to quickly take a total step back here. I want to just quickly talk about what's going on in the Middle East and what sort of the playbook might be there. So I'm going to just go somewhere totally different on this just to show you a different chart, because this is not going to be relevant to a chart what I'm about to say. But I will say this. When you have a situation like you have right now in the market with such a wide range of outcomes, I actually think the possible ranges of outcome over the past 24 hours has widened, not narrowed. That doesn't mean that this has to end up bearishly. This could actually end up being very bullish. However, history tells us that these things usually aren't done like that. Tends to be more flare-ups and things and for months to come. They may not be as major. They may be way bigger. I don't know, right? But the point is it's usually not done right away. So I, from an allocation perspective, would be very careful here not to get too bullish risk assets. I don't think this is over. Again, it's the year of the traders, so we want to be respecting that. From a performance year to date, energy stocks had a definite setback. Yesterday, natural gas is now back to flat on the year, and month to date, energy stocks were actually, let me show you this over here, Energy stocks took a big setback yesterday because of the move in oil, which went down. So you can see energy stocks, which were really outperforming up until basically last Friday, they are now back in line, right? They're still outperforming, but a little bit. versus the rest of the market, and certainly versus the rest of the market, and versus technology stocks as well. So again, we're in a difficult spot. I think as long as we remember that this is kind of where we're at. Let me show you the S&P chart again. This one here. As long as that we remember that we're here, or let me SPY here. It should keep people from getting either too bullish or too bearish, right? I think this is a pretty neutral spot. And I think we were looking at the futures before, which shows you today's pre-market action already. So this is the daily chart, so we're right back up to it. So again, I don't think this is a place where we take too much risk. I think there's better setups in other markets. I'll just want to quickly point out silver again. Silver just got hit hard about half an hour ago, and it's standing up again like a champ. Like, that's the kind of thing that you want to see. So look at silver, like every time it gets slapped, and at some point that'll change, of course, I don't know when that is, but every time it gets slapped, it gets back up, and that's the kind of thing that we're seeing across commodities, X, of course, oil yesterday, which took a bit of a beating, but we still like silver. This is silver here, and you can see technically, if you want to be very technical about it, we're just kind of holding above what used to be resistance, maybe now becomes support. So that's where we think the opportunities are. Last but not least, let's talk about CEG. So what is CEG? So CEG, first of all, we have a very nice, well-defined bullish trend on CEG. CEG is the ticker for a company called Constellation Energy Corp. And to give you an idea of what these guys do, I'm going to quickly show it to you here. So Constellation Energy Corp is a company that is, first of all, it's an energy company, as you could imagine. It's got the word energy in it. But basically, they're essentially a natural gas and energy play, right? So there's a lot of tailwinds potentially for, energy here this summer, natural gas, so on and so forth. And of course, to us, what really matters is the signal from a trading perspective. So you can see this is a stock that went into a new bullish trend on the 1st of May. So far, since it's done that, the stock is, I guess entirely, let's call that entirely, about up 35%. And we just received a new trend following swing trading buy signal. We've got first target is around, as you can see up here, 324 and change. Let's call it 325. Second target about 330, 331. With a trailing stop around 297. So the market rover gives us all that information right off the bat. And again, we're going to continue this conversation here in about 5 minutes or so over in the Inner Circle Market Rover member session in just a few minutes. But I just wanted to show you this. Last but not least, this is the Market Rover chart, our trend following chart. Let's go into Constellation Energy on the absolute chart. So just, without our algorithm overlay, so just the chart itself. And if you were to do just some very simple analysis here, you could see that if we just kind of, round off the tops here, we've got a pretty important level here where the stock could start to break out from. In fact, I think it's more likely than not that the path of least resistance in this stock is to the upside, again, primarily because I trust my algorithms, which are here on the Market Rover. And we do actually have a bullish momentum as well with our trend or momentum indicator, which gave us a momentum buy signal down here, which remains valid. We've got this purple line that continues to, in fact, let me write this down. Purple line that continues to be the stop loss. So if there are no tickers, if there are no questions, if this makes sense to everybody, then thank you all for being here. Have a wonderful Tuesday. Again, if you are an Inner Circle Market Rover member, please join us here in about 4 minutes. We're going to have a very cool session here today. And then later on this afternoon, I believe it's at 2 o'clock, my friend Josh Martinez and I are holding a 20,000 a month trading challenge through the Lens of an Educational series. Hopefully you've seen that email. If not, you can reach out to Joel. Just email support at thesteadytrader.com or hit him up in here in the chat room, in the chat on YouTube. So hopefully this has been helpful. Again, please, folks, give us a thumbs up, like. Please subscribe to the channel. Very, very important, so that we can continue to do this show. We put a lot of effort into this show. It's obviously free, the morning call, so hopefully you're getting a lot of value. And we're going to, speaking of value, we're going to give you a ton more here in about 4 minutes over in the Inner Circle Market Rover members session. See you guys there, and have a great trading day.